Good afternoon, all. There have been several talks and questions which rise whether patents are good or bad. The question is not whether patents are good or bad. The question is not whether patent system is good or bad. The question, our focus is really how we can build the best patent system or IP system in this country, right? Especially, this is one of the pillars for an innovation-driven economy, and it is really required. I will walk you through certain examples, certain statistics, which will demonstrate very clearly that having a robust, innovative society and IP system is really critical for India, especially at the juncture that we are in. Okay? Just to give you an example of why and why should we have a good patent system. I will have a contra example to it. What happens if we don't have a good patent system, right? I'll just give you an example. In 1921, some inventor came up with a synthesized insulin. And in 1922, this was administered to a 14-year-old boy. And there were extremely positive results from this. And in 1925, they prepared a device, they found a device, they invented a device which could administer insulin, right? Very easily. And from there onwards, from 1925 to 1985, it took 50 years for combining the insulin and the syringe into one device known as insulin pen, which many of us have seen, right? Let us say 50 years of hard work, 50 years of investment in resources, time, intellect, everything. After 50 years, you come up with this fantastic device and you go start selling in the market. And you capture a good market share. Somebody who has a very deep pocket looks at this and says, okay, I can make money out of this, and this person with deep pockets, I'll call them as a new entrant, right? I'll call this person as a new entrant. He comes in and he invests money copying this device, right? And he also invests some marketing spend and then make this product popular and capture the market share. Is there a benefit in this model? Definitely there is some benefit, right? Because the person, the new entrant, did not have to do R&D. He copied and he brought this product into the marketplace. He could sell it at a lower price, okay? He could definitely sell it at a lower price. That is the benefit of this. And there is a competition to X. There is no monopoly, right? That is the inventor company. There is no monopoly. These are the advantages of allowing copying, but these benefits are very, very short-lived, and it will not be sustainable in the long run because you would demotivate the inventor. If you are an inventor, you will definitely get demotivated, and the question that you would ask is, why should I invent, right? If you are demotivated and disincentivized, you would definitely not invent. I would give you an example to underline how important this inventor community is. If you look at the number of Indian patent applications filed starting from 1948 until 2023, and if you find out the resident Indian inventors, there are around 8 lakh to 9 lakh resident inventors. 8 lakh inventors out of 140 crores. You can just imagine what is the percentage of the inventor community that we have. It is this much, zilch, right? And can you really take the risk of demotivating them? Definitely not, right? You should not be demotivating them and disincentivizing the inventor community. That's why it is really important to provide exclusive rights provided by patents. The second disadvantage with not having a robust and balanced patent system, I use these two words very carefully, robust and balanced patent system, is the markets will get saturated, right? In the same example that I took, X stops innovating, the innovator company stops innovating because there is no motivation. Anybody can copy. And Y continues to make the same product time and again. If Y has to make a new product, then he has to invest in R&D, right? If you invest in R&D, the prices would definitely go up. So Y is not motivated to invest in R&D. He continues to sell the product that is already there. And because of the non-availability of varied and improved products, market would get saturated, right? It is called saturation of the market. there is one more very important and very compelling reason why you should have a very good patent system, right? Let us say there is somebody with deep pockets, a very big company, and he has a patent. And I am a very small inventor from a very small town. I too have a patent, right? There is no differentiation between the patent right I hold and the patent right held by the big organization. I am on a very level playing field with the big corporation. So patents would definitely provide a very level playing field. And these are three striking reasons, according to me, which supports to have a very robust and balanced patent system. I talked about two things to build an innovation-driven economy. One is an innovative society, and another is a robust and balanced IP ecosystem, right? To look at the benefits of an innovative society, I would like to take you to ancient India for 1 or 2 minutes and come back, right? Between 6 BC and AD 11, India's contribution to world economy was 33%. 33%, highest by any country so far. Highest by any country so far. And China was at 26%. And our contribution to world GDP started falling at the end of the 11th AD. If you ask somebody, when did our economy start falling, they would generally say, oh, it came with the British invasion. But even before that, at the end of the 11th century, our contribution to the world GDP started falling. And by the 18th century, our contribution to world GDP had come down to 19%. 19%. And one of the reasons that is stated is, until the 11th AD, our culture was very open, our society was very open. We were open to learn from anywhere, ancient Greece, Roman, wherever it is, right? We were ready to learn, we were ready to trade, we were ready to share what we had learned, of course within the protection of whatever we had innovated. But after 11th century, the protection for trade secrets, in whatever manner and fashion it was at that point in time, it started coming down. And when the protection for trade secrets started coming down, the society itself started closing down, right? They were not open enough, and that's why the innovation started coming down. And if you look at what happened in 1947 when we got the independence, India's contribution to world GDP was 3%, 4%, right? It was 4%. And per capita income of an average Indian was 43% that of a European average person. Earlier it was 113%. 113%. We fell from 113% to 43%. And around 1980 and 1990, our contribution to world GDP was 3%, a meager 3%, right? And things started changing around 1991 or so. And what happened in 1991 was we started changing our policies so that we could be open to the world. We allowed products from the Western world to come into India. We started learning, we started competing, and that's how things started changing. And today, India's contribution to world GDP is around 8%. And it is predicted that India's contribution to world GDP by 2042 or 43, somewhere around that period of time, it will be around 21%. And when we reach there, when we reach 2042 to 2045, contributing 21%, we will be the second largest contributor to the world economy once again, right? So that's a great thing for India. Looking at the IP system, IP, we did not give ourselves a patent system in a very easy way. We have come a very long way. In 1948, Justice TEDxIIMTrichy committee was formed to make recommendations to the 1911 Patent and Designs Act. They made multiple recommendations, but one of the major recommendations was to have a compulsory licensing provision in Indian patent law. Somehow, the recommendations were not tabled in the parliament and it lapsed. And once again in 1957, Justice Iyengar committee was formed. And in 1959, Justice Iyengar committee gave a report. And one of the major things Justice Iyengar committee did to India was they said we should have our own Indian Patent Act, right? We should not amend the Patent and Design Act of 1911, which was given to us by British. Justice Iyengar committee made it amply clear that we should have an Indian Patent Act. And the recommendations were made in 1959, and finally, when the Patent Act was passed, it was in 1970, and it was given into effect in 1972. If you count the time from 1947 or 1948 to 70, it took almost 22, 23 years for us to give ourselves a good patent law, Patent Act, 22 to 23 years. But after that, things have been positive, especially in the last couple of years. It has been extremely positive for the patent system. Just to give you some numbers so that you can appreciate this. At any point in time around 2010 or before that, the number of examiners in the patent office, including the controllers, was 110 max. Today it is 850 examiners. This is from 2016 onwards. In a span of 7 years, more than 700 patent examiners and controllers have been added into the system, right? In 1948, Indian Patent Office received 1,600 patent applications. In 2023, Indian Patent Office received 83,000 patent applications. In 2016, Indian Patent Office granted 6,000 patents. In 2023, Indian Patent Office granted 1 lakh patents, 1 lakh, right? These are fantastic numbers, beautiful, we should be proud of. But let us take a step back and compare ourselves with, we should look around, right? We should learn and we should see what we can do to get our system better. Look at China. In 2023, in the year 2023, Chinese Patent Office received 17 lakh plus patent applications, whereas India received 83,000 patent applications. Chinese Patent Office granted 9 lakh plus patents in the year 2023, whereas we granted 1 lakh. There is so much to learn, right? There is so much to adopt. And here are few things that I would like to propose to build a much more robust and balanced IP ecosystem in India, or patent ecosystem in India. First thing is quality, right? We need to, when it comes to quality, I would start off with, we need to increase the number of patent examiners and controllers in the patent office, right? The aspirations that we have in the near term, this 850 patent examiners and controllers should become at least 2,500 patent examiners and controllers, right? First thing. Second thing is, there are some cumbersome sections or rules in the law which need to be amended, right? For example, we need to file working statement for every patent granted in India at the end of the year. That's how it used to be. There have been some changes in the last 6 or 8 months, which is a welcome change. For every patent granted in India, you need to file a working statement in a specified form, and you need to tell how much revenue you are making per patent. If you look at 1970 Patent Act, the 1970 Patent Act was mostly focused on pharma. If you look at a tablet, right, Crocin might be covered with 3 or 4 patents, and it is easy to assign a number, a revenue number for a patent. But look at the microprocessor. How many patents would a microprocessor have on an average? At least 1,000 patents. How will you even say, how is it humanly possible to say, okay, this is the revenue I made by selling this processor, and I can attribute this particular value to this particular patent? It is humanly impossible. It is humanly impossible, but you need to, according to Form 27, which is the working statement. So such cumbersome compliance requirements need to be changed to make Indian patent system robust and balanced, right? And the third thing is, for a very, very long time, the patenting of software has been an issue throughout the world, and for India also. If you invent something in the software space, you need to show novelty in the software invention, and you should also show novelty in the hardware, right? If I am an inventor in the software space, and if you are an inventor in the hardware space, you need to show novelty only in the hardware. But for me, I have to show novelty in the software as well as hardware. It's not a level playing field, right? I'm not treated equally just because we did not understand software patents well, right? But there has been a continuous dialogue with the government. Government has been very open to what we are saying and how we are explaining it. And a couple of years back, government said we will drop the requirement for the novel hardware and we will stick with technical effect. If your invention shows technical effect, then we will grant you a patent, right? Which moved our patent system closer to European patent system. And then I talked about government, what should government do? But as individuals, as patent attorneys and patent agents, the quality is not that great, right? As part of the fraternity, I'm sorry to say, but the quality is not that great. For improving the quality, what we need is a finishing school, right? A patent attorney, patent agent finishing school, which is a requirement to increase the quality of patent professionals. This is on the quality. My second prong of suggestions would be on the policy side. We need to have a trade secret law. If any organization that invents, 80% of it would be maintained as a trade secret according to one of the empirical studies. Only 20% would be submitted as patents, submitted as patent applications. Should we not have a law to protect this 80%? Definitely yes. So India needs a good trade secret law. That is the first thing. Second thing is we need a technology transfer board, right? If somebody has to transfer technology to an small Indian company, right? Small Indian company, a startup company might not have the money to pay the licensing fee for the technology. So government should set up a fund and it should stand as a guarantee for the technology licensing fund that happens. So technology transfer board should be set up in India. And my third recommendation or suggestion is there should be a technology policy board. Technology is changing at a breakneck speed, right? Breakneck speed. It is very, very hard for people in the industry to understand where the technology is going most of the times, right? We talk about AI, blockchain, quantum computing, whatnot, right? It's hard to keep up. So there should be a technology policy board which would advise, which would make suggestions to the government, which would provide a lot of good work based on facts to the government to make very good policies. And at the juncture that we are in, it is critically important for us to frame good technology policies, right? These are some of the suggestions that I would want to make today. Thank you very much. This is what I intended to talk to you today. Thanks a ton. Thanks for the opportunity.